To have you today again. Today we are going to talk about growth again, about the fact that growth is intentional, and this is part two. So welcome if you were there last time. Welcome, and for the new joiners, you would do well to go and make reference to part one of growth is intentional. Today I want to talk without any filter. Sans filtre, as French people say it, without any filter. I will be as ruthless as possible, as clear as possible, and as detailed as possible, as honest as possible. I would talk to you about growth, what it takes to grow, honestly, from a perspective of a young person, not from a perspective of a senior person who saw it all and all that. We are talking among youth here. We are young people, millennials, Gen Zs, Gen Alphas. Some of them are amazing the way they are sharp. When you are at their age, we never used to be, to have any interest in such things. But nowadays, you can see they are so amazing. They have interest in growth, topics about finance and all. These are things that we never used to have any sort of interest. When we were 10, we were running somewhere, doing absolutely nothing. Uh, and that's also what made us amazing people. The fact that we grew doing almost nothing apart from playing, apart from fighting among among ourselves, apart from listening and hearing stories, hearing fables, hearing all sort of things, doing nothing physically, doing nothing in terms of um, the day will pass, you will just go to school, you come back home, nothing else. However, the the youth nowadays, they are outperforming in terms of career, and because they are being exposed to the world, to the reality of this world quite early. And I believe this deserves some uploads. They might not be doing well in some areas like family and all that. However, in terms of career, when you go to conferences, you hear them talk, or you hear us talk, you know that we are trying our best, we are trying to outperform our parents, and it's normal. There's nothing wrong with outperforming our parents, because this is now the benefit of having parents, the fact that they teach us what they didn't do right, so that we could get it right, what they did wrong, so that we get it right. This is, in fact, the beauty of having parents. The beauty of having parents is not just that people will not call you orphans, it's also the fact that you have this advantage of parents telling you what they did wrong and what did not work out for them. For instance, this generation, we talk a lot about the fact that we've lost touch with family, about the fact that hello John, welcome. I'm doing well. I hope you two are doing amazing. Text, down there if you can hear me. So about the fact that in terms of family, this generation is not doing well, but you know um in terms of career wise, I don't believe there is any poto, as people from Ivory Coast would say, yapa match, yapa poto at all, not even small, because there's this hunger of this young generation to know. Knowledge is available, there's internet, even though we've perverted it and we've been using it the wrong way. There is every resources in place to make sure that this generation is better. So if you are in this generation, you are a Gen Z, you are a Gen Alpha, a millennial, I don't see any reason for you to be complaining that you don't, for instance, have access to university, because I believe that the best university right now is free, you know. Even though when you don't pay for a course, you don't pay attention. This is the problem now. Attention is is expensive. When people don't pay for something, they most of the time don't pay attention. This is the only difference. If not, the best universities are online and they are even free. I was hearing a CEO just like 2 hours ago asking a kid. In fact, the kid was asking him, "Would you like me to go to university?" And the guy asked him, "What do you want to do to go and do in university? If your parents are willing to pay the university for you, that's amazing. If they are not willing to pay, then you are wasting your time. Not wasting your time because education is bad, but wasting your time because most of the people going to university, they are going because at the end they think they will get more money. Yet you will spend sometimes millions. Let's say you spend $500,000, or let's say you spend 2 million Kenyan shilling, for instance, to go to university to pay you for your curriculum. And when you graduate now, the salary is 30,000, the salary is 15,000, the salary is 20,000. There is a problem. You see, you see that it automatically discourages you from continuing with your course, because what do you mean by me spending 2 million and the salary is 15,000? Salary is 15,000. What am I going to do with 15,000? That's the question people ask. Yet, most of the companies today are not hiring people who have, necessarily graduated from a specific school. What they want, especially in terms of engineering and all sort of innovations, they are looking for people who have the skills. If you have the skills, you do not even need to show any certificate again, because you have the skills. You can show it. You can take the laptop. You can do something right now that will help some people. You can do something right now that will avoid people queuing in front of an office. Right now, you can build a system that will help government reduce corruption. Right now, you can do it on your laptop. Then there is absolutely no need you presenting your certificates. The person who is back from the university, from the college, is presenting a certificate. If you ask them to now do something, they can't. So this gap shows you that people are not really interested in anything you going to university and coming and apply at their company. They are absolutely not interested in that. What they're interested in is the fact that you solve their problem, and the moment you can solve their problem, you become their friend. They employ you automatically, because you see, you can't solve the problem. And this is the most important thing. The most important thing is that our problems are solved. It is not that you get more degrees, you become, you are now, you have your PhD, you're now called an expert in this area. And when people ask you the questions, all you can explain is some theories from 1990 this, from 1880 this. You give a lot of stories, yet you can't solve problems. This is there's a big difference of you going to university for the course, going for that career, building your portfolio in terms of certificates, certifications. You graduate every time you post it on your LinkedIn account, and at the end, nothing. At the end, absolutely nothing. And it feels bad, because at the end of university, you now expect someone to pay you, and the person also expects you to bring value to the company, and your expectations are two parallel lines, absolutely different, because the other person is looking for value, you are looking for salary. You are looking for salary that you cannot provide value for, because salary is value dependent. Your salary is value dependent. It is as simple as that. The moment you cannot provide the value, then your salary will not follow. That's why you sometimes ask for salary increase, and then the HR, just dumped you. Why? Because no, it's not because the person is wicked. It is just that whatever you've been doing in the company is not worth increasing your salary. It is not wickedness. There's this difference. There's this this thin line between wickedness and pragmatism. The person is just pragmatic. The person is just being honest without any filter. That whatever you are doing is not providing the value, to increase your salary. The best way sometimes to increase your salary is that you show that you are the best person, and that in addition of whatever you're already doing, you can do more. You can even take care of people. You can even, manage people. You can become a human data manager, that you can understand people. You can be a leader, that people can listen to you, that people can follow you, that when you are there, people can talk more. They feel more secure. Have you gone to a meeting in the corporate, then everyone is shy. Suddenly someone just starts talking, or someone enters, and everyone feels relaxed. These are the people who their salary are increased, because they create a conducive environment to make sure that work advances. At your workplace, if there is not a conducive environment, it is going it is definitely going to show on your results, because you cannot talk during meetings. You cannot report issues because you are afraid. So there need to be that person who can talk to the senior level, the top level, and talk to you, meaning both sides feel okay with that person. Meaning when that person enters and sits with employees feel safe. And when that person goes to the senior level, the people at the senior level feel safe, and they feel okay because he behaves like them, he understands them. These are the people whose salary are increased, or the type of people that even if one employee does not come, they show that they have the value for whatever that person used to do. That person is definitely going to take your place. Be very careful. Today we are not anymore in the in the year of clapping for many people in a company. No, 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 no. No one cares whether you are 2,000, 3,000 in a company. If you are 100 and you deliver the result that is required, that's all. That's why people will keep companies, even though I don't love it and I don't stand for it. Companies can decide that 10 people are going to lose their job, and they are going to replace it with a system. They are not afraid of that, because what they want is result. It's not your cute face, your cute face that attracts HRs, that attract the CEOs, that attract the managers. It is not your handsomeness or your beauty. It has nothing to do with your face. Your amazing face, by the way. You look amazing, okay? You're beautiful. I admit that. But that's not the point. The point is that, do you deliver whatever is required of you? If it's not, forget about it. People are going to use systems to replace you. It is bad, as I said, but that's how capitalism is. So growth is intentional. When you understand all this, when you go to work, you are more careful. You work more. You are more relaxed. You work more. You are productive. You make sure that whatever is asked of you, whatever is required of you, is delivered. If you can't deliver the result that is expected from you, then get out of that company. Go and do your nonsense somewhere else. This has nothing to do with emotions. It is how companies work, because they also run with money. They spend money per year. They spend money per month. They sometimes pay for the rent. They pay for electricity. They pay for water. They pay for insurance. They pay their tax. They pay all these things. And sometimes they even pay for trips. So how can they now, again accept you when you are doing nothing, when you're not helping the company, when you are not meeting the deadlines? One of the things that me I've noted, and that at the beginning of my career, I used to fail at, is meeting deadlines. My God, I was bad at that. I was so bad at that. So hard for me to meet deadlines, because I used to tell myself, what is a deadline? Nothing. At university level, at work level, same thing. It used to be the same thing. What is a deadline? Nothing. I'm going to extend it by 1-2 days, and it is after the 2 days that I will now send you an email telling you that, oh, I won't be able to meet the deadline. You've already not met it. Why are you again sending an email? Please send that work. Make sure that that work is done and you submit it. As simple as that. Make sure the assessment is done and you submit it. It is because I was not intentional with whatever I was doing. Today, I'm more careful. Today, I'm more careful with whatever I do. I make sure that when I'm asked to do something that is worth my time, I do it. If I don't believe that it is worth my time, I will also let you know that I'm so sorry, but this is not within my qualifications. It is not worth my time, and at the end, I'm going to deliver rubbish. Therefore, give it to someone else. There is, in fact, no shame into saying that I can't do it. Give it to someone else. There's a balance to this. Sometimes say yes, I can do it when you have nothing to do. Say yes and go and learn, go and train for it. If the company is creating a new office, okay, that is going, for instance, to jungle two offices, or to merge two offices, and they ask you, can you be the lead? Say yes and go for the training. Write the name of that office or write the name of that position. Go and make some researches. Go and check online if there's a course of 3 months, because they are launching it in 3 months. Get ready. Get ready. Make sure all the keywords, all the SEOs, everything that is required of that work, that you could explain it and that you can work for it, you know it. Very important. It is very important that you get to that level of being intentional. At times, your next level in your career just depends on your courage. The courage to say yes to things you even know nothing about. And you just say yes, and tomorrow you know everything about it. If someone now comes with a deal of 200 million to the company, and the person who is supposed to receive that investor is not around, and the meeting is in 2 hours, is either that employee shows up, or else you're going to lose the deal. And your boss asks you to get ready in 2 hours. What will you do? You get ready, because this is 2 million. Let's say, for instance, that they're saying if you secure the deal, you get 5 million, or you get 5% of 200 million. What do? You start searching about it. You start searching about it. You start reading about it. You start now. You make sure that you know about that position, that you know about the deal, you know about what it will cost to make it happen, what it will what will make the investor being attracted to the company. This is being intentional. Intentionality is in your career is something very important. Don't play with your career. Don't play with your job. Don't play with such things. When someone calls you at office hours, I believe that the best thing you could do is to tell the person, I'm busy. I honestly believe that. I believe the best thing you can do when someone is showing at your workplace, during working hours, is to tell the person, I'm sorry, but I'm busy. It is not that I don't like you. It is not that I don't like your face. It is just that I am busy building for my family. Now, someone will ask, can my career make me rich? And me, I will say, do you want to get rich, or you want to make sure that your career, you know, makes you rich? If you want to get rich by any means, you can even throw away your career. If you want your career to make you rich, it can make you rich by becoming a consultant. Some people have become so good in their work that no one can make them retire. They will retire and the government will call them again. They will retire, the government will call them again, because there's no one to replace them. I'm not saying that you should become, a consultant after retiring. That's not what I'm saying. There are people who are 40, 50, who are consultants, even 35. Why not? If you started very, very early, why not? What I'm trying to say is that ask yourself the right questions. Do you want to become rich, or you want your career to make you rich? Because there are people who are paid, let's say, $20,000 per month. If in Africa you are a consultant, and with all the the work that you do for companies, you earn around $20,000, and you tell yourself that you cannot build something with it, then there's a problem. Because let's say 20,000 times 10, that's already 200,000 in Africa. Let's say the 200,000 times 10, that's 10 months. That's not even a year. 200,000. You will tell me that you cannot build something with it? This is a lie. This is a big lie. It is because you are not intentional. It is because when you get that money, you use it for useless things. When you get that money, you don't use it, properly. When you get that money, you don't do what is supposed to be done with it. That's why you feel like that money is small. But there are people who are earning less than $150, in fact, less than $100 in the same Africa, and they're surviving. You are at a point of, you are earning $20,000 because you're now a consultant, and you are still saying that it is not enough. No, at this point, you are the problem, not the salary. Be intentional. Growth will not happen by you just being careless. Numbers are very important. Numbers are very important. When you get that your salary, don't first rejoice. Write the numbers down. Write it down. Just write it down. Write $20,000 down. Even $5,000. Write it down. Go and check how much people are earning per month. Go and check it out. What is the minimum wage in this country? Sometimes it is $200. So you are earning 10 times 10, or how many times more than them? 50 times more than them. And you are still complaining that my salary is not enough. Your salary is not enough because the moment you got that first salary, you went to an expensive area. You went to get an expensive house. You started taking loans all over. Do you know why when we are done with high school, or when we are done with university, directly car loans people are all over? It's because this is the only way they could keep you slave. The moment you have your money, you have no business taking any loan for a car. Forgive me, but why should I buy a car that would cost me 1 million at 1.5 million just because I'm borrowing for 5 years? Why should I do that? You see, this $500, 500,000 more added to it is something that you could use, or 250,000 is something you could use. But because of your carelessness, you now go, just after getting a job, a fresh job, you go for a loan. You are 25, you are already taking a loan for a car. That, what will you do with a car? Some people buy cars. You do know that, at the beginning of months, all the the Thika road is full of cars. Why? Because people have gotten their salary, so they only use their cars when there is salary. The moment it is 10th, people start parking their cars and they start using matatus. It shows you something. It shows you that we are careless as people. We are so careless. We are so careless. Imagine, how can you be able only to take your car at the beginning of months, and from the 10th, 15th, you don't anymore have money for fuel. It shows you that you are not yet at that level. You are not at that level. You are forcing issues, and it is so bad. Or else, they'll just be using the cars at the beginning of the month and only on special events. It shows you that you are not yet there. It shows you that you've not yet arrived. Why did you take that loan? A loan that is stressing you, a loan that is, making you become a liar every time they call. Oh, have you received, your salary? Not yet. Have you received it? Not yet. Have you? Not yet. Every time it is not yet, because you are careless. Because you are careless. And it is so bad. If you want to grow, be intentional. Avoid such. The moment you get your salary, you start, upgrading your garderobe. You start changing your clothes. You've removed this, you've removed that. Things that you could be wearing, things that are professional, things that are looking good, even for your job. Now start changing everything. You don't even look like you anymore. When you are walking, you know that it is not you walking. It is just some lies. It's because we are not intentional towards growth. And whatever we are saying now applies to all of us. As young people, we are not focused. We are not intentional with whatever we are doing. And that shows and tells a lot about our mindset. In terms of career, as I'm saying, in terms of knowledge, we are doing well. But there's a gap. There's a huge gap when it comes to our lifestyle, and where we are planning to go. Where we are planning to go is not for people who want to live a show of life, or that is, it will take your entire energy. It will consume you from within. It will consume everything. And at the end, you will lose everything, because money will not be coming every day. The big mistake, or the biggest mistake ever, is to tell yourself that the money that is coming in today will remain forever. You better build a system to keep it up. I'm not a financial expert. I'm giving you a general opinion, okay, based on what I've been taught to do. You better keep it up by building systems. That money will not come forever. That's being intentional. Be intentional about knowing that money, that source of income, will not be there forever. It's a problem you are solving. Once the problem is fixed, it might stop. The problem with building a company that is problem based is that at the end of the problem, when it is solved, the company has nothing else to do. That's why you have to keep looking for other problems to solve. You have to keep buying companies and integrating them into your business. If your business used to do only A, you now also, at the end of A, you now add B. At the end of B, you now add C. It becomes a chain of solutions. That's why some companies have been able to go from generation to generation. Remember Sony, remember Nokia, remember even Yahoo. You see, Yahoo, is that Yahoo? The biggest mistake they made was that they thought the problem they were solving would remain problem forever. They were wrong. They saw that there were some updates. Instead of updating themselves, upgrading their companies, embracing the technology coming in, they told themselves, people are not going to need it because whatever we are offering is already a solution. There won't be two solutions. Unfortunately, history proved them wrong. This is your company now. This is what we call company. Your company should be in such a way that it takes into account the fact that the problems you are solving today will not remain problems forever. And that's the simple truth. Don't lie to yourself by saying that whatever is being solved today will remain a problem forever. It is wrong, and it is something that is going to cost you a lot. Don't allow your some level of ignorance to cost you your customers, to cost you things that you've taken so much time to build. Don't. Avoid that. Okay, thank you so much for today. It was an amazing session. I hope you've learned something. If you are willing, or if you would like to talk to us, just text below. This live was made available, or was made possible by Bitamwell Studios. Thank you so much. Have a lovely night.